I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P. A lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious. I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
Yeah, indeed. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on in. Have a sit down. Have a seat. Welcome into the program. You're now tuned in to Let's Go Live with Lamont King. I'm Lamont King. We are now live. Let's go. Yes. Good to see you. Sit down. Have a seat. First timers, sit down. Don't touch nothing. For our returning family, good to see you. Peanut Gallery, what up? Something like a podcast. All right, I say check the sound. Oh man, did y'all miss the whole music? Y'all missed the music? Sound is weird. What does that mean? What does weird mean? Oh, cannot be heard. Okay, we'll start over. That's fine. What about now? What about now? Can y'all hear it now? That's the question. Before I move forward. Okay, way better. I'll even start it over. One more time. All right. Let's try it again. Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in. Have a seat. Sit down. If you're already seated, stay in your seats. Keep your hands and feet inside the whole movement the entire time. Unless it get good to you. Something like a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, I'm watching something on another screen. They say the balance on the phone lines is getting low. I hope the phone lines are still good for today. That should be good through today. On today. Anyway, something like a podcast, man. Each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Lord willing, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. East Coast time. Shout out to everybody watching right now on the West Coast and worldwide. I see you. Appreciate y'all. Trending topics, hilarious commentary, celebrity guests, and interesting people. You know, we try to get at least one of those 4 things every show. You know what it is. Appreciate y'all for coming back, man. Because you could have just left and sat this one out. You know, that's what people do. That's what people do. They leave you after a long time and then just be like, you know what? That's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? It could be like a long time. It could be like 27 years, and then they just be like, all right, that's it. I'm done. Could you imagine? Yeah, me neither. All right, let's talk about it. Broadcasting live from the newly remodeled Drunken Fruit Studios inside the Tiny Closet Command Center.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.
Appreciate you. As always, go check out our sponsor, Drunken Fruit. Today is a drinking observance. That's what I call it, a drinking observance today. So why not check them out?
She's a nude stripper. She's always wanted to study architecture. I was her.
Sponsors, commercials coming through. That's one of them web pages where if it sit for too long, the pop-ups start popping up. I ain't asked y'all for that. Watch live. I ain't asked you for that. Tripping. We not there yet. All right, anyway. What was I saying? I said something. I was saying something. Yeah, Drunken Fruit today. Go get them. Go check them out. Website or Instagram, Drunken Fruit. Spell it right. Adult candy. Great offerings to go with tequila, I'm sure. Almost certain of it. Shout out to our executive producer down the hall, Studio G, Mr. Clarkson, award-winning, and our New York Bureau Chief, John Watson from All Fun and Games. I see you. New people, what up? I see some new names. Good to see you. Make sure you hit the likes and hit the like and the thumbs up, which I think is the same. I know I say that often, but I think it's the same thing. Put the bell on, turn the notifications. Woo! Turn notifications on, and let's get it popping. And I figured out a way to schedule the show so that the chat is live before every show. But the last 3 shows, I don't think y'all been paying attention. So it's just been sitting there waiting for y'all to get busy. And I guess it doesn't fit into your schedule. Anyway, let's get into it, man. A little bit later, Roland Martin should be stopping through. And also I want to talk about Bill and Melinda Gates, man. They opened up the gates. Who the hell left the gates open? And, just some thoughts and commentary. I've listened to some radio shows earlier this week, and everybody, got different positions and, unique to everybody. And I'd love to hear yours. A strange story. We'll get into it, though. Super strange. I got my theories. But before we do that, also the Money Wheel, live and direct. Not really any movement since last Friday. So the pot is at 55. As you know, the new rules is we gotta get to $75 before we can activate it. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But if you feel like being the one to jump out there, try to win some free money at the end of this week, go on over to Cash App and put some money down on the Money Wheel, the live Money Wheel, 50-50 raffle, $5 a slot. Let me show you what it looks like. I don't think I cleaned it up from last week. Let me see. Did I take the names off? I don't think so. Had a busy weekend. The page is loading. Yeah, I don't think I took the names off. So anyway, so people that are wondering, it looks like Wheel of Fortune. And we do a 50-50 raffle. 50 goes to you, must be present to win. And the other 50, page unresponsive. No good. I need that page. Anyway, and the other 50 goes to production costs of the show, things like the lights, the phones, all the things that make it a live element, the internet, streaming platforms, all of that. It's a major operation here. So anyway, that's it right there. $5 a slot. Put in the notes how many slots you want. It's as little as 1 slot or a whole hell of slots. You can do it all. Just put it in the notes. All right, there's that. And also today, the number, 765-538. The phones are wide open, 7461. That's 765. Let's go one. It's a live show. Don't trip. We take actual phone calls and video too. in the chat. Let me put the guests in. I promise you I won't be as mean as Kevin Samuels. Or will I? So that's what I'm gonna lead off to today, man. I normally don't like to talk about black men beefs. I don't do it in when actors do it, when the rappers do it. It's really not my thing to perpetuate and promote those things. But I got to tell you, this latest dust up, and I blame the internet. I blame Twitter, Black Twitter, for fanning the flames, and just people are just so creative and filled with free time. They tend to just make everything out of nothing. So apparently Kevin Samuels, the world famous Kevin Samuels, and listen, I gotta say this disclaimer. I don't care how you feel about Kevin Samuels, internet life coach, relationship guy. I don't want to call him guru. I don't even know his titles. I don't even know if he has any. But when I tell you, you ladies, you might get mad at me. Where the lie when he talks? Where is the lie? He ain't the point of origin for a lot of the points that he makes. He didn't originate him. You know what I'm saying? He's not the architect of that, taking that position. But I got to tell you, whether you like him or not, here's fair warning. Don't call that show if you ain't got your shit together. Just don't. I mean, some people are looking for it. They looking for it. And I just got to warn you. If you're not familiar, cool, stay unfamiliar. But if you like, man, I don't fuck with Kevin Sam, I call in there and I get a piece of my mind. No, you won't. No, you won't. Don't do it. So anyway, people coming at his neck. He's getting, I did some research. I saw a couple of videos that kind of told his backstory. Came, 5 or 6 years ago, been doing videos, and then just really hit his stride, I would say about within the last year or so, with as far as going viral and people actually paying attention. So his lives, I was on his live the other day, he had 17,000 people on Instagram Live. Just watching, tuned in real time. 17,000 people. He's striking some kind of nerve. So apparently there are people who jump on there just to go at him. So he cuts the comments off. And recently people were like, you need to talk to black women with more respect, and you need to be more like Dr. Umar. And, the Hoteps was really coming for his neck. I don't even like to say the word Hotep, but that's what they call them. The wokes. The wokes was coming for him. You need to address our queens with a little more respect, and all this anti-black woman rhetoric and all this blah, blah, blah. So because of that, he kind of went on a rant the other day where he named Dr. Umar. And this ain't gossip. This is just what happened. I'm giving you context. So he was like, people want me to talk more like Dr. Umar. People want me to talk more. I don't have no problem with Dr. Umar. It should have stopped right there. I don't have no problem with Dr. Umar. This is what he's saying. However, he ain't even finished building the school. And I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. There they go. There they go. So, of course, the internet took that and ran with it and tagged Umar. Of course, I'm sure it made it to Umar. So Umar went on a little rant today, really, getting at Kevin Samuels indirectly and just talking about, no more no more anti-black woman rhetoric, and you're going to stop doing this to the black female, and we need to protect and all this. Here's the conclusion that I came with. Oh, this pop-up, hold up. Another pop-up still running in the background. I want to show y'all this video, but the more I leave the video hanging, they keep throwing pop-ups. Anyway, so the conclusion I came to today was just, and we may talk about this on Friday, but they're both right. Is that a thing? Can that be? Are we capable, folks? Can they both be right? Because I don't care. We're in an era where your team, your guy has to be 100% right all the time, or he gets canceled. That's where we at, unfortunately. That's our attention span. That's our appetite. So they're both not perfect. They're both not always right. But damn if they both not on point 80% of the time. Sorry, not sorry. So I'm like, is this really a battle? This is people saying this, they staging it like as verses. But I'm like, nah, we can't really play around with that because they both are very influential. We gotta be honest. But they both be right though. I mean, it's black people, we're not a monolith, is the phrase that's always used. Black people is not a monolith. But I'm like, wow, it's hard to pick a side because you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're going to say that for Friday. But I just wanted to let y'all know, put that on your radar, do your Googles, see what's up with it. Come back to class on Friday, be prepared to talk about it, and give me your thoughts on it. Kevin, yeah, you're invited too. Oh, this is someone. Oh, you changed your name. Okay. Kevin Sugarfoot Samuels is one big lie. But you gotta be willing to come on here and say why you think that. You gotta be willing, because I'll get some clips together for Friday, and we can just go through them briefly. But you gotta be ready to tell me why he's a lie and why you don't like him. Haynes, any thoughts on Billy Sorrells and delay? So, am I a Kappa? No, I am not a Kappa. But they both are. And Friday, let me get you a quick story, give you some background before I move to the next story. I was on Karen Hunter's show, and I had a Kappa on. I do a segment called The Writer's Room, and one of the comedians during the commercial break was like, yo, man, this delay Billy Sorrell's shit is crazy. And I'm like, what? And we only got 3 minutes, right? So they tell me the story, and I'm completely blown away. Like, I still got to do my research on that one. I don't know what's going on. So I can't speak on that one. Not yet. Because, again, I don't like gossip. And that's comedian beef. And that's frat brother beef. But it went to some levels that I wasn't even ready for. And they talking about in the comedian world, it's huge. Which makes sense. Because I ain't been on stage in almost a year and a half. So I ain't in the loop. I don't know what is going on. But that's ridiculous. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. We always dance around and the mental health piece and all of that, day to day, week to week, right? This news cycle is crazy. There's no such thing, because our appetites have changed, and the way we digest content and information has changed. There's no more slow news days. This news cycle is a 24-hour news cycle for the last 12 months. We are in one big parallel universe of a shit show. Pop quiz. Let me give y'all this before I move on. During the Civil War, because I was looking at some political stuff today. During the Civil War, if you can remember, for those that know history, at what point in time did they name it the Civil War? I'll wait. This what made me think about it, right? I say this thing on Karen Hunter's show, how we're in the middle of a civil war, like legitimately, like with no hesitation. We are in the middle of a civil war. Mental, racial, political, citizen versus citizen civil war. It's only going to be, it's not going to be until years later when we look back and, there's the chapter in the history book. Remember the weird ass, the 20s, the 2020s, remember, blah, blah, blah. It'll have a name for it. We're in it now. When the Civil War was happening, they didn't have a name. I don't think they had a name for it. It wasn't called like, today, gentlemen, we're going down south and we're going to fight in the Civil War because, that's what's happening right now. I don't think that was, I could be wrong, but I don't think that's what happened. We're literally like not even good versus evil. It's like side versus side. And literally no one is telling the truth. No one. It is so, you watch the news, it is so scary out here now. So what made me think about it was this whole Parler thing, right? There's a big blow up on Parler. Parler is the thing, the social media platform that was thrown up to combat the anti-conservative movement on these liberal social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter or whatever, because they high profile individuals were getting banned. So they literally caravan and exodus away, started their own. And now somebody was on their big talking today right? Talking about when we come for the traitors on Capitol Hill, people getting hung. We bringing back hanging. And that joint just exploded. But here's the dumbness. It exploded on Twitter because people are screenshotting and quoting, bringing it back to Twitter and be like, can you believe what they're saying? And then showing it. It's like these people are banned, but you bring in the content. That's a whole nother story. But we're in a real live like civil war, like right now. And no one's telling the truth. Tucker Carlson and Jon Stewart were trending today also because of Joanne Reed of Tucker Carlson smashed him, demolished him. That went viral. But she made mention to Jon Stewart doing the same thing in 2004. So I watched that. I was like, oh man, he predicted the future. Like it's weird. We're in a weird time right now. Let me go down the hall. Studio G, bring in some immediate fact checking with Mr. Clarkson in Studio G. What's good with you?
What's going on, bro?
Chilling.
Hey, so during the time of what we now know as the Civil War, it was called the War Between the States.
Wait, hold on. Why does John
She's
keep?
always wanted to study
No,
architecture.
somebody trying to sneak through their free plug.
No. I got to get to this story. I'm leaving the window open with the video
Get me
playing.
out the way. Go play the story. Get me out the way. I'll
Go
come back.
ahead. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so here you go. During the time of the Civil War, it was known as simply called the War Between the States. It was never called the Civil War. It was just called the War Between the States. Even if you check back and look at news articles, it was just simply known as the War Between the States. It wasn't until officially 1905 that the voting Senate and House called it the Civil War. Because once again, they had to earmark it for educational reasons of what do we actually call it. And that's why it's known as the Civil War.
And of course,
that name actually belongs to the Daughters of the Confederacy. The Daughters of the Confederacy were the major ones that put the name the Civil War.
Because it had a nice ring to it. Like what is that? That's what is that even?
We know that the Daughters of the Confederacy are the stakeholders of why education is the way it is. Why in certain parts of the world slavery is called slavery, and other parts is called indentured servants. Like they're part of a major propaganda team that was very fearful that their mothers and fathers and brothers and great uncles will be looked at as villains. So there's a direct narrative that the Daughters of the Confederacy taught, and that Civil War name is a byproduct of them generating this curriculum that we still see today.
Oh, make it a kinder, gentler war. Make it soften it up a bit. Yeah.
Right. Even to the point that to soften how the South was viewed, the Daughters of the Confederacy even produced a toy line that kids where they could recreate the war and replay the war where the South actually wins.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. And again, kind of what's happening now, like in a real way, one party loses and they just will not
let it go.
Mitch McConnell says today, this is news today. Mitch McConnell says his number one goal is to block Biden legislation. Period. It's to block his administration. Like we just seen this. We just seen this with Obama. Just seen it.
With Obama. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But that's
with Boehner and Reed and all them.
Yeah, but that's part of the narrative of people who cannot let it go. Even when these toys were, believe it or not, outlawed by the United States at one time, hey, don't produce any more toys, they did it. Once they lost a bid for toys, that's why the Daughters of Confederacy went out of their way to start a statue building campaign. Have you ever noticed
where the statues come from?
Right. So have you ever noticed why a lot of Confederate statues are in major walkways, whether they're by courthouses, major parks, and everything else? That is yet again a byproduct of the Daughters of the Confederacy, because they wanted always to make sure that their great whoever were always viewed as the hero. This isn't hearsay. This is literally stuff you can look up about the history of the Daughters.
And that was always weird to me anyway, because when they started taking them down, I was like, damn, it's just a lot of them you got to take down. I'm like, well, wait a minute, how'd they get up? If y'all lost, how did they get up?
They got up because they a lot of the Daughters of Confederacy were married to writers of books. They also were tied into printing press. So So if, once again, whoever controls the press really somewhat dictates the news. So they were able to generate these books at such a rapid pace that before they got around the world, like, or around the country, hey, it didn't happen like that. It was too late. So now you've been taught generational hate and can't stop it.
And the reason why I say we're in the middle of it now is because not even political, beyond political, just the way fake information is disseminated, and how again how we digest content has changed. We're a Parler and a Fox News and all of that. These are synonymous with news sources. We don't know what news is anymore. And
No.
that was the thing about what was so telling about what Jon Stewart had said in 2004 was like, yo, y'all gotta stop. He was on the
Right.
show on Crossfire. He was like, fam, you gotta knock it off. You gotta stop. And Tucker was like, well, you do it. He was like, I'm not, you bozo. I'm not a journalist. Y'all can't do this. And he was pleading because he saw the future. And when you look now, and on both sides, when you look now, it's opinionated commentary. That's it.
Right.
With a few headlines. Like some nights, as much as I enjoy Cuomo and Don Lemon, some nights I'll sit there and I'll be like,
but you know what they're doing?
Because this was Don Lemon will do.
Monologue.
Yeah,
it's an monologue.
It's a monologue. He'll be like, really, Donald, did you get your feelings hurt? Like, and I'm like, and I'll be watching, I'm like, this is entertaining, and I like it, I jive with it. But I'm like, that's not news.
No.
That's how you feel right now, Don.
Right.
And so if I'm that audience, and then the other audience is getting the same thing on the other side, just like Jon Stewart said, it's theater. And he said that's dangerous. He says unfair to the American people because you don't get your news. So now you got a Parler, you got Fox News, you got all the, and then you got these white folks walking the street who that's all they eat up all day. And then they get to yelling and running up on your 10-year-old in the restaurant and grabbing the mask off the face because they don't believe in masks. You know what I mean? Like, and Tucker's telling them shit like this. Like, we're in the middle of a civil war, all the way live, all the way real.
I forgot to mention this, but when I was in Dallas, they said, we don't like this mask thing that you're doing, because what it is that part of being a man is be able to see a man and look a man in the eye and see his whole face. So now it's a push of manhood. And I fell out laughing. I said, really? I was like, I'm actually doing my civic duty by following the national mandate.
But listen, again, and I'm glad you said that, because even beyond that, because I believe in civil disobedience and all that, man, whatever. But even if you weren't, it's not your fucking business. Like, you may have allergies. Why do they think that telling you what you need to do at any given time is their right, like what they're supposed to be doing? That's the part that I can't get with. Like, I don't understand it. Like, even if you don't believe, if you believe it's a hoax, that's fine, right? But me wearing my mask is literally not doing anything to you.
But it's a dying breed who've lost control of the wheel, and they're trying to do everything they can. Second, my other favorite rude thing that happened was where there's a couple that was speaking Spanish, and this white woman yelled at them, "I wish y'all speak American." And like everybody went, "Whoa!" But once again, lost. I think we're all, but we've got to be real careful about falling into the theater of the mind. And I literally talked to my students about that like 2 class periods ago. Stop falling into the theater of the mind. Anytime something comes up, whatever the controversial issue is, don't look at Fox, CNN, whoever. Go to allsides.com, which is a really great website. Allsides.com. This is what I use when I'm teaching kids debate. That way you get something that's down the line. You can see what left media is saying, right media is saying, and who's actually calling it down the center, which surprisingly enough is a lot of European and British websites that do the best reporting on us, which I think is so interesting. But it is what it is right there, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on, because I could go in, but we in the Civil War, champ. We in the Civil War, y'all. Like the real kind. I ain't even on no doomsday type. I was just like, I was looking at, the debates that were actually what was trending and the debates that was raging, and then just how everything's going on. I was like, we in it. It ain't coming. It's here. All right. Anyway, this story I wanted to get to y'all. This is a local story. So some of you in other places, you may not have heard it. But 2 DC police officers, DC police here is called MPD, Metropolitan Police Department. They recently were caught drag racing. They was drag racing each other down a residential side street and crashed into each other. And MPD released the video immediately. Let's watch it because the update to the story is just hilarious. I mean, hilariously sad. On TV. All right, let me get rid of this ad real quick. You're going to believe that. So the update is what happened. WUSA 9 is what happened to the police officer.
This video obtained by WUSA 9 dates back to a week and a half
Wait a minute,
ago.
y'all don't see it yet. Hold on. Let's go back and then let me share that because you got to see the whole thing. The story just it goes into what we were talking about on Monday, conversation with police. What does it take for a police officer to get fired? That's the question I asked Chief of Police, and they had no answer. And here's proof.
By WUSA 9 dates back to a week and a half ago and begins with 2 officers inside a Metropolitan Police Department car. The officer in the driver's seat appears to scroll through his cell phone, showing off something on the screen twice. No audio can be heard at this point, but moments later, the car begins speeding down the road. An investigation later described this patrol car and another one racing side by side down Anacostia Avenue and Polk Street Northeast. The second car can be seen veering over when suddenly an airbag deploys and a cracked windshield appears. Finally, we hear from the officer wearing a body camera.
Yeah, I'm good.
Investigators say the crash left 4 officers with minor injuries and both patrol cars totaled. On Monday, MPD Chief Robert Conti revealed one of the officers lost his job following the investigation.
Obviously, those types of things are unacceptable. They're embarrassing. It's not something that we tolerate. It's certainly something that I do not tolerate.
And as far as the other 3 police officers, they find themselves in, quote, non-contact status. But Chief Conti added that further discipline or even charges could come, with the case now under review by the Office of the Attorney General. I'm Tom Dempsey, WUSA 9.
All right, so let me see here. So what I was saying the other day, what does it take to get fired? So Guess why the officer that got fired? Guess what the reason is, the only reason why he got fired? Take a guess, I'll wait. The only reason he got fired was because he was on probation. He was a probationary, which is, I guess, less than 12 months. I don't know how MPD is. Most DC government positions, their probationary period is a year. So because he was within that period, he was terminated. But the other 3, and the chief, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about. You don't even know what to believe because nobody's telling the truth. The chief says we don't tolerate it. But you do tolerate it. How is that not immediate? Immediate, I don't even have the words. Immediate grounds for dismissal. How is that for everybody involved? How? Would it take for you to hit a carriage? A baby carriage? Kill a dog because they ran in the street, dent some parked cars. Like what does it take? What do you mean you don't tolerate? Like you're a farce. I don't believe you. I believe you tolerate it. How does that not lose you your job as a police officer? I don't know. These are just questions I'm asking. I don't get upset at stuff like that. So I'm gonna bring my voice back down. Because I have no control over it. Can I get upset over things I cannot control? Next story. Next slide, please. All right, how about some feel good real quick? And then we're going to talk about Bill and Melinda. Some feel good real quick. I thought this was funny. Rex Chapman, if you follow him on Twitter, always got the goods. You know, the feel good, funny joints. He does it at a high level. So every once in a while, you're gonna get some from Rex Chapman. But I just thought that this was just funny. In a weird way. So I don't know if you saw this with the restaurant with the waitress getting rid of the lizard. He says, give this girl a raise. Let's see why. I guess there's no sound. She's dragging what looks like a monitor, Komodo dragon lizard out the restaurant. Like, if you don't get your, and he like, hey, whoa. Is this how y'all treat me? Is this how y'all gonna treat me? I had reservations. Wait a minute, is that how you talk? Wait a minute. Let's try it again. You gotta slip. I had reservations. Is this how you treat lizards of color? Okay, all right. Anyway, yeah, man. The comment section is where it's at. But imagine being in a restaurant, though. And then I watched it, about the 50th time. I was like, I thought she was going to toss it over the railing because it looked like they had a fine establishment where it's bushes and jungle down below. I don't know what country this is. Might be America. I don't know. No real context. It's been viewed 1 million times. But I was like, yo, look, the lady standing on a chair and everything. Like she had a black brunch. No, but it looked like when I watched it the 50th time, I was like, oh, she's taking that to a table. Oh, they ordered that. Dragon roll? Here. That's me. Dragon roll. Oh, man. That's funny. I'd be like, check, please. What kind of tip do you give? She needs a raise. That's incredible. No fear. Knew what to do and everything. He could be a stone killer. She like, not in my section. Bad enough. Only got 3 tables today. All right. Who ordered a runaway dragon? Hilarious. So anyway, let me go to the next one. Sad news. If you got Peloton, where'd it go? Did it go? Can y'all see it? Oh no, I gotta reshare it. Peloton, man. Peloton's doing a recall on all their treadmills. All their treadmills, like every last one of them, because of about 20 or so injuries, including 1 death of a small child. So I only do this as a PSA because I know Peloton hit a big lick in 2020, and now with their title or I forgot the other one, Mirror, and the other one, all of these services, because they know you in your house and they know you still fitness conscious, you want to stay in shape. It was a big boom. So what happened was, long story short, they rushed the development of this one and got it to the marketplace without really going through all of the checkpoints that the consumer public affairs organization, I forget the name of it, agency, really was like, yo, you need to do this, this, and this. And they was like, we good. So they sent it to market. So now they're recalling all of them because the way it's built, they say it's a lot of issues with it. So if you got one, get that shit back. But at the same time, just up here, because everybody's an investor and everybody's playing the stock market real heavy. Their stock took a dip, like about 18% today. They lost like $4 billion in market share, in volume. I may be using the terms, but you know what I mean. According to the article, you can do your Googles. But what I'm saying is, all you new investors and traders or whatever, buy the dip. That's the phrase, okay? The company's going to come back. They're going to be okay. More people are going to get the bikes. So if you are messing around with your portfolio right now, you're trying to diversify, take a look at Peloton. And the company behind, or the people behind Parler, if they're publicly traded, looking at that as well. That's what's hot today. So John Watson says most people haven't been using them anyway, so might as well return them. But anyway, so there's that. All right, let me get that out the way. Those are the 2 little off the beaten path joints that I thought was interesting, that I thought y'all might like, man. All right, so yeah. Oh, my bad. That was Cassidy versus Hitman Holler. I was watching that last night too. Battle rap. Hitman got punished. Anyway. Yeah, I know most of the details. All right, so let's talk about it, man. 765, let's go 1. 765, let's go 1. So Bill and Melinda, man, 27 years decided to call it quits. Their youngest child just turned legal, I believe, either 18 or 21. And they announced that they Splitsville. Here's the thing. I think the most interesting part of this story, for me, is the fact that they don't have a prenup. Whereas normally, that would be exciting to find out what drama was going to happen next, right? But they've agreed to financially separate their assets and their wealth in I believe the quote was in an even fashion, on agreeable, amicable, one of those words they use, which I think is very interesting. Now, sure, they got married a long time ago at the beginning of his career, and maybe he wasn't the prenup guy. I do believe as a type of individual he is, there was a certain nature of the chosen one that goes along with Bill Gates. Like I feel like he knew, kind of like Obama, knew from a young age that he was going to be a large historical figure. And if you know anything about him, you'll understand what I'm talking about, because he's kind of put in place. Is like what do you call that? Pedagogy. What was that? When your family is something, and then they like you gonna be something. It's one of those. You look at his lineage and who he's related to, and what they were to American industries and things of that nature in the latter part of last century, century before last, actually. You'll understand what I'm talking about. So I say all that to say, I find it interesting that knowing that you was about to be big shit in 30, 40 years, you get married and you don't do a prenup. I'm like, man, what does that say to you? I'm not even reading y'all comments right now. I'm shooting. I feel like their whole situation was arranged. Because most of the time, 27 years is a long time. Most of the time, when a couple reaches that point, they outgrow each other. It's not the same person that I married, all of that, or he's consumed with his work, or you know what I mean? Most of the time, I want to get what's coming to me. I earned or whatever. Prenup is usually that's a dramatic thing. But in a situation like with this, I was like, this whole situation was arranged. You know what I'm saying? Because he's such a goofy. I don't know. It's somebody for everybody, but it's something that doesn't sit well with me about this one. And there's not that it's any of my business, but there are a couple of theories that I've stumbled across before going down the rabbit holes. But I just find it super, super interesting. I wanted to hear your thoughts. 765 Let's Go 1. 27 years, no prenup. So apparently they're worth 150 billion. And so she agreed to an amicable financial separation. What's your price point? 27 years, what's your price point? No prenup. What are you willing to walk away with? Because they say 50% of all, this is where the stats come in, and this is why stats are bullshit. 50% of all marriages end in divorce. 80% of most divorces are financial. Yeah, listen, I'm pretty sure financial wasn't in the top 10 reasons why they splitting. It just goes to show you money can't buy love, happiness. Man, people rich still can be unhappy. But no prenup. She ain't asking for money. She gonna get money. They're gonna divide up stuff accordingly. But it's not gonna be messy at all. What has to happen? What's your price point? What would you leave with? And what has to happen for you to leave quietly? That's the because you could cause mess. Like Bezos' wife was on the verge of causing mess. And then she got like half his shit. Bob Johnson. Sheila Johnson was on the verge of causing mess because he had an affair with his top executive at the company, Deborah Lee. But she didn't cause mess. But what did it take? Half his money. Which is also another ironic situation. I thought it was funny. Sheila, if you don't know, Sheila Johnson, Bob Johnson's ex, got half his $3 billion worth in their divorce because they were married for like 20 years, which was 1.5, which made her immediately the first black woman billionaire in America before Oprah. And she went up and opened these resorts, these golf resorts, right? Which are now huge. So I'm watching the Golf Channel this weekend or last weekend, and they had one of the championships at Salamander in Virginia, the Valspar Championship or something like that. And they were talking about how good her courses are. And they were like, yeah, owner Sheila Johnson, co-founder of BET. And I was like, oh, yeah, you co-founded the joint? Oh, okay. Who knew? Who knew you co-founded the joint? You made your money in television, huh? Yeah. Oh, okay. But anyway, so back to Bill and Melinda. 27 years. What would it take you? What's your price point? Let me put the little joint in the chat right quick. He said he worth $150 billion. What do you think happened? What you think happened? Because I don't know, man. Sure, people change, and you ain't really, the expectation is be the death do you part or whatever. But some people just be on one. Like his family, he's related in some way to Margaret Sanger of Planned Parenthood. He's known to preach eugenics. This whole him vaccinating the world and practicing practicing with the vaccine trials in quote unquote third world underdeveloped countries. And now that there's a market, now that they're working viable vaccines in the marketplace, he doesn't believe that the third world countries should have access to the vaccines. Like this is, I don't make this shit up. I'm reading. This is what I'm reading. He's the number one U.S. landholder of the number one holder of land of U.S. farmland in America. Number one. So he about to control what you eat. Everybody was like, when I said that last time, what does that mean? And so what? Bill Gates is about to control what you eat. Okay. Don't bother you, huh? All right, let's get to it. Let's go out to the West Coast. Check in with Haynes. What's good with you?
Let's go.
Let's go live.
So, what's going on, Lamont?
I'm chilling, man. How you?
I'm good. I was kind of half listening because I'm kind of doing something outside, but I heard the related to Margaret Sanger. Now I didn't hear the preface. If you said that's a conspiracy theory, and that he speaks about eugenics, I didn't hear the preface because I got some loud noise going on. But that's really the only thing that I wanted to call. I don't want to defend Bill Gates, but my whole thing here nowadays, the thing that triggers me is especially black folks, when we get to talking about serious subjects, we tend to disseminate inaccurate information, and that's really what I want to speak to or against. Is just let's get the accurate information, so that we can make informed decisions with the correct information. Now, if we're talking about conspiracy theory, that's one thing, because conspiracy theories are fun. They can, but when we talking conspiracy, all parties should have an understanding that these are unproven. These aren't facts. They're unproven conversation. And so that's why I called, and that's the smoke I'm looking for. Is man, there's no. He's not related to Margaret Sanger. His dad was a lawyer. His dad was a lawyer for Planned Parenthood, and that's where he gets his. And from what I gather, is his dad, always had that kind of philanthropy, and that's why he got involved with that. His dad didn't get his JD until like the 50s. And Planned Parenthood was established. I heard rumors, his dad helped co-found Planned Parenthood. He didn't get his JD till the 50s, and Planned Parenthood was established in like 1919, 1918. So these, the conflation of kind of some facts and some theories and everything, man, just kind of really triggered me the whole, at the beginning of the pandemic, and because he gets blamed for it. And I've never, I've seen the video. Oh, go ahead.
No. If I said that he was related to, I may have misspoke, but I know that there was a relationship and a connection. So that's what I was leading towards. There's a definite familial relationship and connection between his family and that whole operation. Now, with regards to him getting blamed, I mean, that ain't no conspiracy. He had a conference in December. This is factual information that's been scrubbed from the internet because they don't want you to confuse people. But they had a global conference on the impact of a worldwide pandemic in December of 2020 with scenarios, examples. They rolled out the patents to the coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, whatever it was called at the time. Like, this is all.
Oh, is that right?
Say what now?
This is facts?
This is all information that's available.
That they rolled out the patent. I know they did have a conference. I can't remember what it's called. But man, we've had pandemics before. They just really didn't affect the U.S. that tough. This is the one that has really affected the globe. And that's kind of what he was warning people of, like, hey man, China, y'all got to watch China because they're not covering their mouth when they cough, and they're going to affect the world. And so, that's just two different opinions.
Sure,
but again,
that's fair.
Where are the facts of that? And like I said, that's why I kind of preface what I said. And so that's my whole position.
No, it's cool.
I just want
No, it's cool. I take all that. Yeah, I take all that. I'm not saying.
I see your fist balled up, and I can hear it.
Yeah, no, not even. Because I'm not. Yeah, not even. I just like him. People put him on such a high pedestal, and that's what gets me. I'm like, you're not even digging into what he's actually about and how much influence and power he wields over global society. Like, I remember one time, I think you got triggered a couple months ago when I was like, this dude started in computers. Now he's the medical expert. And you was like, well, why can't he? Why can't he? And I was like, no, man, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. That's a red flag. That's a red flag to me. Super red flag.
And I really don't want to defend Bill Gates. I guess I end up defending him, but I see him more as like a salesman, not really like a medical expert. But the dude reads, like, from what I heard, he's got like 95% word retention. He reads like 150 words a minute.
Oh, evil genius!
And so,
without question, evil genius.
Evil genius. What has he done that's evil? There's no facts to back up that kind of statement. And see, I get to defending Bill Gates, but there's just stuff out there.
All right. Well, let me bring some. We're gonna circle back, bring this conversation back, and I'm gonna bring as much information that I can that's credible.
All right.
That's what I'm gonna do, because a lot of it's gone. A lot of it's gone because he's Bill Gates. And it's just not around anymore.
Come on.
Literally.
So how come he ain't scrubbed the eugenics and all of that then?
Some stuff is safer. But some of it is easier to dispute than others. Some stuff is like, oh, we can't dispute that. Let's take that down. Why is it? Again, I say this, and I'm gonna let you go. So you can't say the words 5G. Why? And then they say, because you don't want people to get, this is what they say, you don't want people to get the wrong idea. The wrong idea? You're entrusting me as a consumer with everything else on the internet except that. And my question is, why? Why? Why can't I have access?
To misinformation.
How? 80% of the shit on the internet is misinformation. How is
right?
So how is that one the one that has to go? Like, where people say, we believe the 5G, the waves are going to react with the body and it's connected to the activation of the virus and all that. Like, but you can let everything else stay? as preposterous as that sounds, you got to take that one out because it might influence me.
Well, that's the one that's the hot topic. That's the one that's getting all the hit. You gotta kind of slow down the misinformation at some point.
I guess.
And I know 2 years ago there's a couple. So anyway.
Yeah, I got you. Next time I'm gonna come with some. I'm gonna come up with some Bill Gates facts, and we're gonna bring this back on the next episode.
Yeah, for it.
All right.
All right, man. I appreciate you letting me vent to you, or
It's all good.
Appreciate you letting me on your show, brother.
All right, anytime. Haynes out in Vegas, y'all. All right, let's go to let's bring in Studio G. Let's go back to Studio G.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
You're not triggered. You triggered? You got triggered?
No, I'm not triggered. I just wanted to the question that you started off with was, what would you part with? And I think if I'm Bill Gates, I give Melinda $75 billion in just straight cash, no asset.
Half off the top, just half off the top.
Half off the top. And the reason why is because he has easily the most intriguing portfolio of any of the top 5 richest people in the world. Of course, we know one being Elon Musk, 2, of course, is Jeff Bezos, and Gates is coming in 3rd. So let's take a look into his portfolio, right? He has Berkshire Hathaway, which is a company that's valued at $7 billion and has produced nothing but gains since 1991.
Berkshire Hathaway, who is Warren Buffett, Warren Buffett came out this week, who said, I don't like the way you guys are playing around trading crypto.
Right. I'm mad about it because he realized
because average people are making money. Yeah. Average people are making money. Yeah.
Correct. Second thing that he owns, which is called waste management. Like the people that basically, if you in PG County, the green yellow trucks, he owns, he that's part of his portfolio as well too, which is grossing $49.73 billion. And the other thing that people don't know about waste management is that they have a mining property or mining section of the company that goes on the way of finding rare and precious metals. So we're talking about gold, silver, alloys, renewable energy. That's very interesting as well too, right? The third thing, Canadian National Railway, managing things by train. That's worth $74.1 billion. Caterpillars Inc., that's valued at $77.52 billion.
That's the tractors and cranes, right?
Correct.
That's why Haynes rocks with them. No, I'm
right.
Just kidding. But go ahead.
And then we have the last one, of course, which is Walmart, which is basically the key to the puzzle, which is valued at the shares. The number of shares that he has is $11.6 million in shares, but he's basically turned that into close to $2.7 billion that comes on a regular basis. So just for owning that Walmart stock. So the problem is, well, not the problem is that the hustle that he's created is that because he's so influential in Walmart is also a major funder of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which of course allows that to be a very much sort of an easier tax write-off for him. So all of these moving pieces is what allows him to basically kind of wake up, and he can stay in bed all day and know that he's still making money. And he owns 49% of Microsoft. So that is the financial breakdown of one Bill Gates. Tons of farmland and the railroad. Very interesting purchases inside of his portfolio. But when you start to look behind the numbers, you're realizing what's really going on.
So is that half that you're looking for as Melinda Gates, is that enough to keep you quiet?
I think it should be. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with $75 billion. Yes. I'm thinking that if I'm Bill, if I was him, because I'm going to always believe that the reason why, well, for one, I do agree with you that there's an arranged marriage. I think that they were put together with the understanding that, because she's extremely smart as well too. She's here to help you make money. Along the way, if y'all fall in love, that'll be great. But that didn't really happen. I think that, notice perfectly waited till the last child was out the house at 18 years old. Yeah. There's some very clever business moves here. I think he got caught with an intern. Just off the break.
Oh, okay. Which kind of intern?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I got to be honest. I remember, 20 years ago when they started showing him on 60 Minutes and blah blah blah. Here's Bill Gates and his wife. I was like, his wife? Oh? Yeah. No. Yeah.
See,
I don't believe.
What should have been more of a proper statement was that this is Bill Gates and his business partner.
Ooh, nice.
Which I think did. But I think all will be revealed in probably the next month or so. This isn't if it doesn't get pulled, because Bill Gates signed up to do a documentary on Netflix 2 months ago, which was called Inside Bill's Brain, where it was going to reveal what makes this man tick. And apparently there's this very, very intimate moment where he talks about the loss of his mother and everything else. So
right. Yeah. And I think it's interesting. I like what Bezos' wife did. She was like, listen, man, I'm out of here and let me get this money and then let me just give it away. So now I'm trying to see is Melinda on the same, cut from the same cloth.
Right.
HBCUs on deck. Everybody HBCUs is like, okay, Melinda, hey.
You
know what I'm saying?
I'll say this. It's just been very peculiar, right? When we look at the history of their relationship, they don't have a very public love story, though they've been in the public eye for almost 3+ decades. And I think that's a kind of a, not a red flag, but it's a question mark of, I want to know a little bit more about that. So I'm wondering, like I said, what is this Netflix documentary is going to reveal to us, especially with this divorce that's out here as well, too.
All right, there it is with the fact checking, Mr. Clarkson, Studio G. All right, let's go back to the phone, 765. Let's go on. All right, let's go to our New York bureau chief on scene, John Watson. What's good with you?
Hey, nothing, champ. I just have one question that we can definitely dive into a little bit more on Friday because Lamont back here eating all the damn chips.
Yeah. True story, as always.
As they look into dividing that money, like Clarkson was talking about, and he throws her, 70 billion real quick. Do you get mad that you still only have 70 bill left, or do you just go,
right?
Are you really feeling it? Do you really feel that? Do you feel that kick in the pants?
And that's why when I read the article, I was like, oh, it was amicable financial separation. Yeah, I guess it would be. Go ahead.
Do you get upset though? I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Do you get upset?
No, you should not. No, you should not. No.
You know what I'm saying? Because like if it was, if we were splitting, 140,000, you know what I mean? Like, and I had 70 left, my feelings might be a little hurt. You know what I'm saying? If I'm just 1,000 there.
Right.
But, are you ever going to really notice that 70 billion is missing if you got another 70 billion right behind it?
Yeah, right. And, they don't make that, you know what I mean? For tax reasons, they pull that salary, that 1.4, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
1.7.
They probably make a modest, right, you know what I mean? They make a modest 6-figure salary on paper anyway.
Yeah.
I know how that goes.
You're not even really noticing that you're not impacted by that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So that's my only thought. You know what I mean? Like they talking about this money, but I'm like, is he really feeling that pinch?
Yeah, right.
Splitting things up. You know what I mean? Like you'll never, his side of the palace that they live on. You know what I'm saying? She probably never was over there more than once a year anyway.
Now, somebody mentioned the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and I can personally speak to that. They have given a lot of money. Well, I meant to get the pictures. I'll bring the pictures Friday. I was affiliated with that foundation for 4 years. So for about 10, maybe 12 years.
Were you a child of the Gates?
No. I wish. So for about 12 years, I could be wrong. Might be 15 years. They did this thing, right? Where they did 250 people on the East Coast, 250 high school seniors on the West Coast. And you apply for the scholarship, and then you got it, and you got 4 years. Listen to this, because I don't know. It's called Gates Millennium Scholars. Look it up. I was involved with them for about 4 years. Gates Millennium Scholars. Program is no longer. But what they did was you got to go to any school you wanted for free. So I'm not talking state scholarship. I'm talking if you want to go to Harvard, they paying for it. And it was for, minority, whatever you want to call it. Underprivileged, disadvantaged, marginalized. Here's the trip, though. That's not it. I met some of these people. I still in touch with some of these people. He paid for, if you want to stop at 4 years, you stop at 4 years. But if you want to go to postgraduate, get your master's, get your doctorates, they keep it going. There's 500 kids a year for, can you do the math on that? Like that's major. Like I rocked with him as a philanthropist, but everything else, listen, I was
that's major. You know what they call that in the Gates house though?
What's that?
It's just a little write-off. It's some light work. Little write-off.
Yeah. That's how you keep your 75.
Like you can walk. That type of thing. Like you walk. One day. You I don't know. You're in. Somewhere for some reason, and you bump into Bill Gates. Oh man, Mr. Gates, you don't even know how you changed my life, man. You paid for my this and that and the third and blah blah blah. He goes, oh, okay, what's your name? Yeah, my name is so and so. I got that letter from you. And he goes, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Sure. You're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah. He has no idea.
You put me through med school.
That's fun money. That's fun money.
Yeah. I used to do this thing where it was the orientation. Each year I used to do the East Coast, and then the West Coast they'd fly me out, and I would do like this game night, like a game night for the kids going into college or whatever. And I used to be, I ain't gonna lie, I used to be so jealous. I'd be like, where was the Gates Millennium when I was coming out of high school? Are you kidding me? You're paying for everything? Everything?
Right.
Until I no longer want to go to school.
Like, I think about something like that, like, yo, man, it's like, if Bill Gates was broke down on the side of the road, he just happened to be, like a civilian that day and driving his own car.
Right.
And I helped him out. Like, man, Good Samaritans, he's like, hey, man, let me give you $20, $40 for your trouble, man. You help me out.
Yeah.
I mean, he slipped me like $300,000-$400,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, put my kids through college real quick, fam. My fix is flat, and I got you out of the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, no wonder if he does something like that.
Yeah, and if
you get a couple billion, you're sneezing that. You're sneezing that out if you got a couple billion, if you got several billion.
Yeah, if he put me through my PhD, man, I'd take all his vaccines. I'd be like, where do I which arm you want, Bill? You know what I'm saying? Which arm?
You walking up to him, tapping your arm, like, come on, man.
Hey, Haynes.
Test me out.
Hey, Haynes, simmer down, man. Simmer down. I'm not jealous of Bill Gates. I think people hate on billionaires, not because they're billionaires. A lot of times people hate billionaires because billionaires don't want anybody else to be billionaires with them. And that's where
why you can list them. That's why you can list them.
Yeah, right. And you know who they are.
You can't list. If you wanted to list thousandaires, you'd be listing. You know what I mean? That's a list of 250 million people.
Yeah, it's like Warren Buffett literally said he don't like the idea of all this Bitcoin mining and this trading and crypto and blah blah blah. He doesn't think it's good for the economy and good for the markets. Yeah, because the average person has the tools now and has smartened up, and is making money off of it.
That's the rich man's way of saying. That's the rich man's way of saying niggas the neighborhood.
Yeah, basically. So it ain't no jealousy. They just the rich have made their money off the poor, and so now people finding different ways to get that money back. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so that's the price point. That's what it would take to keep quiet, just have a slight half, without even the courts having intervened. The courts ain't even had to get into it.
70 billion.
Yeah, let me just take
70 billion.
I take 68. You know what I'm saying?
That's when you get divorced like that, you go into the Supreme Court.
Yeah, true.
You're not going to the regular civil court. Right. Judge Alito and them got to preside over your case.
Yeah, it'd be like
Sotomayor has to see your dossier.
And then you get the paperwork and you be like, it's $5 billion off. You'd be like, hey man, don't trip. You know what I'm saying? Don't even trip.
Right.
Let me just sign it over. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna trip.
Right.
It's 5 off.
He got North Dakota. What you mean he got North Dakota? No trip.
Yeah, Jay can have that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna fight him.
Right.
I'm not gonna fight him. I still love him. I'm not going to fight him.
Right.
But yeah, man.
As long as I still have Montana, I'm straight.
Yeah. Yeah. So we shall see more details, I'm sure, coming out about it. And she probably will be speaking or not. You know what I'm saying? We're just waiting for HBCUs, waiting right now, waiting for that money. Waiting for that money. Them donations. All right, there it is. All right, I appreciate you.
All right, bro.
Yeah. Talk Friday. All right, there it is, y'all. Today's show. That's it. Yeah, you know what? I need to have somebody on here to talk about Dogecoin and crypto. Is it too late? I think it is. But yeah, you give somebody on here to give us a little heads up, a little insight, some little tips. Not advice, just a little insight, a little research. I may put that together. All right, anyway, y'all, on behalf of everybody that made today's show possible, man, we want to say we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody hit the thumbs up, turn notifications on the way out. Make sure you bring somebody next time. If you want to support this show, we got some production costs, some modest production costs that go on. Let's Go Live Show. And also you can use that same handle to get on the live money wheel. And it's up. Let's see. It's back. All right. The names are still on it, but this is what it looked like. Some people are like, well, what's the money wheel? What's the money wheel? This is the money wheel right here. That's what it looked like. All right. Okay. All right. Don't get excited. You get your name on there. We spin it once on Friday. Must be present to win. 50-50. Take the money. Do with it whatever you please. So that's that. That's how it is. All right, man. That's today's show. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I see y'all Friday for All Fun and Games. John Watson will return with us. All Fun and Games, our New York bureau chief. Everybody else, man, be safe. Stay away from the news. I don't even know what to tell you to watch instead of. You know what I'm saying? But just be careful out there. Be safe. And that's it, man. I'll see y'all in a minute. Let me get this button right real quick. All right, peace.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.